national political reporter for the Associated Press. It sounds like, Julie, from our decision team, that this hasn't had the kind of impact that some speculated early on it might.
Well, we've got a couple of days to go, and remember how fresh this is. And so one thing that we're really watching here is there's no question that the email situation in general is not good for Secretary Clinton. All along, that's been the case. We see that in polls. And so really the question here is, do her supporters or people who are sort of on the fence about her just sort of get re-disgusted with the whole thing, seeing it in the headlines again, and stay home? And that, of course, has impacts not only on the presidential race, but on the Senate races as well, all across the country.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people suggest that the Senate races might benefit from this. But I also heard another theory on how this could play with the electorate who wasn't so sure about Hillary, but was sure that they didn't want him. That maybe seeing this again would be like, I want this over. I'm going to go vote for her and get rid of him forever and ever. Amen. I don't know what sort of studies have been done on that, but it's a factor for some people.
It is a factor for some people, and here's one little bit of evidence that we have that there may be something to that. Her campaign is reporting that in the days since this latest news came out about emails, she raised a record-setting amount of money, more than $11 million. So it's clear that it's motivating some people within her base. But I think that you really could argue it either way, and only time will tell whether, voters are disgusted and sit home, or whether they just want to wash their hands of this whole thing and go out and vote for her.
It tightens every time this time of year. I remember Al Gore just making a fateful decision not to go back to Nashville at the very end of his campaign because obviously Tennessee was sewn up. 3 generations of Gores had been winning Tennessee. No one had ever lost it. Well, he lost it, and he lost the White House. So those last-minute decisions about where you campaign really do matter. What does that tell us about Hillary Clinton in Florida today?
Well, she's spending an awful lot of time in Florida, and of course she's got some of her top surrogates going back to the state quite a bit. You see President Obama there, feels like almost every day. And that's, there's one reason alone for that, and that's that it doesn't look like Donald Trump can win without winning Florida. So they know just how important that crucial state is, and they're spending a lot of time there. That's where most of their advertising money is going right now, and they just really recognize the importance of Florida. Seems like it's always important, but that it's certainly true this time as well.
Before you go, who's going to win?
Oh, easy question there. I mean, you look at the early voting totals all across the country, and again, I can't speak about Florida enough. It's such a tight race in that state just based on the mail-in ballots and the early voting ballots. I think in some ways that state alone is going to be a real cliffhanger. It looks like she does have an easier path to 270 and beyond. That's been the case for months now. And I'm not sure that the email disclosures changes that a whole lot. No,
but it certainly spooked Wall Street. Our viewers will be thrilled to learn, according to Fox Business Network, that partly the reason for the Dow dive today, we're now at about 150 off, but off the session lows, part of the reason for that is the markets are spooked over this email business. They're more spooked apparently than the candidates, at least openly.